Returns to equity markets. Let's hear it out from Lupin CEO Vinita Gupta and MD Nilesh Gupta, them throwing light on what's next for India's pharma industry and the opportunities that lie ahead for Indian pharma companies.
If you take the Patent Act, if you take Hatch-Waxman, these two pieces created eventually the generic industry plus India's role into the generic industry, and therefore the role that Lupin built, the position that Lupin built to be the third largest generic company in the US by prescriptions. So I think policy is extremely important and the like, but there's long-term ramification of this. You're talking about 30 years, right? Even in today's world, you can flash that down to 20 years, you can bring it down to 10 years. It's not 2 years, right? So I think it does work in that. I think the future of Indian pharma is extremely bright. It's not the old playbook, right? And I think the playbook has always changed. I think generics did not exist before '84 and the like. That's when the opportunity came up. I think, thankfully, we have this muscle memory around generics. We know generics like the back of our hand. Therefore, the evolution from generics to complex generics has not been a 20-year story. It's been a 5 or 10-year story in that. And the next big piece is innovation. I think it's something that we've been chasing for the last 5 years. I think it's now time to take some bold bets and get deeper into innovation.
Right. Particularly about US, I'll come to you, Vinita. The question I was putting, with now India securing a deal with United States, particularly from your point of view, how do you see that it is a kind of relief which has been done? Or when even Nilesh was mentioning, you're not looking at 2 year, 3 year down the line, but policy changes are something which should be long term. But in a world like this, where the announcements are like, we know 1 month something is happening, second month something is happening, how do you adjust to these challenges and how do you prepare yourself?
Yeah, so it impacts the sentiment. It doesn't impact the long term, but the thing is, in our industry, the efforts of what we make today show only like few years from now. It's not, 1 month, next month, right? And certainly with all of the, back and forth that has happened on the trade deal between the US and India, which started on a very, very good note early last year and then went declined, it's great to see us in a place where there's a balance and there's a good starting place with the current trade deal. There's also been a constant exemption for pharma. So while the overall market sentiment got dampened because of the relationship between the countries, but pharma has been tackled separately because it's a very essential industry. And the Indian pharma industry is very essential for the US pharma, the patients and the whole healthcare system. I mean, the Indian companies supply 50% of the prescriptions that are dispensed in the US. If you look at the pipelines of the Indian companies now versus global companies, the highest percentage of products filed to on the generic front is Indian companies. So we are a very important part of the US healthcare system, which has been acknowledged. Has it been fully acknowledged? I think there is still a lot of education that we have to do as an industry, but the industry is done. I mean, all of the generic drug companies and the Indian Pharma Alliance companies have played a very active role in emphasizing the importance of generics in the overall healthcare system and the role that India plays in it. And it is, if you look at the next few years now, I mean, our industry has evolved from simple generics to complex generics. Now we see opportunity on the biosimilars front starting to evolve. After that, it's going to be peptides. After that, it's going to be oligonucleotides. After that, it's going to be ADCs. So there's a tremendous opportunity to build on that start of affordable medicines itself, to start with, And then there is a separate opportunity on the innovation front, which, all of us, majority of us, top pharma companies aspire to have both a presence on the generic side of the business with affordable medicines, but also innovative medicines that can meet unmet need for patients. I'm confident that India will develop that muscle of building innovation, as well as partnering with innovative companies to find faster avenues to get needed drugs to market.
Okay.